Well, for me, um, it's knowing who I am, and knowing that the work I'm doing is making difference for the community for better. So the work I'm doing is positive. It's like helping the youth, is building leadership groups, is motivating and empowering the youth. So I know myself because what I'm doing is speaking for itself. So for me, one or two persons sending emails to groups, no one would believe that. So some of the emails they send it to Minneapolis and Community Technical College, and that's where my office actually is located. And before they send the emails, I didn't even had office. But because the work I do, because the people that I work and the trust I have in the community, no one would buy that. So what happened is that instead of asking me that, they actually sent an email telling them, hey, we know Sacido, we have been working with her for a long time, and we trust her, her work is making a difference, and we're glad to have her.
Yeah. So what is it that you do? And
Well, I am a founder of an organization called OMA Project. It's a non-profit organization, and we're working with the Somali youth and their families. One of our goals is to build a recreation center, um, which is really needed because we have a large population, especially young generation. We have a lot of women who are wearing the hijab, like me, or covered up, who are not able to participate in normal public gyms and or recreation centers. So to have a gender-specific recreation center, that was our number one goal. And the other two part is we're working with the city of Minneapolis in creating a project called Somali Youth Future Leaders, and it's to train 10 Somali youth to become the state leaders, state council slash. And what we do is we provide the material, we provide the resources they need, and we give them the platform to work from, and show them what leadership means and who's who in the city and how they can participate and how they can get involved, and also how they can actually create their own leadership projects where they actually lead some of the programs that we're doing. And the other part is the creation, and that's the one we received a youth prize grant, is to create a mediation, not no a mediation training. So we just finished that. We trained 13 Somali youth to become state mediators and receive a license through the Minnesota Supreme Court, which they actually have right now. It was amazing. Had both boys and girls to be a mediator and peace builders within the community. Um, I think it's really important because I believe that, especially with people of color and where we have been, and having this all discriminatory and racism within the American system, and all the different organizations and groups, systematic racism, and all of this have to be disturbed because it's created this. It has been created to disable people that look like you and me to not participate in the system and understand how the system works. And so a lot of the so like right now what's happening, the Black Lives Matter, I believe that's creating a lot of communication. I believe it's creating a lot of media attention, and I believe a lot of people are looking into ways that they can better their relationship with the people of color. And I believe, though I don't, I'm not agreeing on the way they're doing. I believe that to at least talk about it and to show that, hey, you know what, we're not different. We're all American. We can do better. We're all citizens. We're lawyers. We're doctors. We're all of this. Is one of the things that we can do as a society to disturb, is to speak against all kinds of racism and all kinds of violence and injustice. But if we don't talk about it, then it feels like we're embracing it. So the only way that we cannot embrace is for us to say, and other thing that I believe is to be at the table. So a lot of times you have groups who are doing, who are, making, laws and policies that's, affecting our families. But if we're not at the table, then you know what? You're either at the table or you're in the menu, and that's most of the time what's happening. So I believe that some of the things that we can disturb is to be at the table, is to be as loud as we can, is to create our own media, and to create our own programs and policies that will help our communities. So like economic disparities, how we can do it is to actually create our own ways of hiring our own community, but at the same time, we cannot say, hey, all white are bad, or all, it's the system. And who created the system? The system has been created by 1960 something, but that system has to be different because now America is different. You have me, who's from all the way from East Africa. Then you have Africans and other African American. You have Hmong, you have Middle Eastern, you have a lot of people. That system have to work for the community, not against it.
Yeah. So what do you say to the people who say, well, there's Somali on Somali crime, you're right? But so before we talk about this other stuff, the Somali community needs to get itself together before they try to do other stuff. What do you say to people who try to use that kind of language?
I believe a lot of it is the media that's creating otherness within our own community. And if I believe you're other, but you're not, Minnesotan, I believe that's creating disparity within our own community, because to not have the otherness will create that I see you as a brother. And not only the Somali community, I'm talking about the general, because Somali community is one aspect of the community. And I believe that knowing that, we have Oromo and we have, Nigerian, and we have, all of us are black and African American and Muslim and all whatever, all of that category. If I see myself as being different from you, but whereas people who are sitting at the table who are making difference don't see that. They see all of us are being one. So for me, I would say that, it's not Somali versus Somali. It's all of us, and unless we're united to understand that your issues are my issues and your problems are my problem, then we're not going anywhere.
So what would you like to ask people to do? Like, so people are going to watch this either online or in the conference, and there are people who are like, well, I don't know what to do. And I see Black Lives Matter, I see All Lives Matter, I see, Blue Lives Matter. I'm conflicted on what to do. What do you want to say to them that propels them into motion?
Well, I believe that, in order for you to live in a normal home, like let's say, you need to work hard, you need to pay your bills, and you need to create your own house. I believe that if you're not doing anything about it, then you're actually embracing that. To stop that, you have to work hard. And how do you do it? Is to, hold hands with people like you, people who have similar, experiences, people who are going through what you're going through. And when you hold hands with other groups that are have the same issues, I think you can come up with better policies and better ideas. But if you're not just sitting there and say, hey, they are Black Lives Matter, and they are Somali, and they are this, and every issues that we hear from the media and everything that we see is all against us, then yesterday it was Black and African American. Today is Muslim. If you're Muslim, it's like, whatever happens, the media, it's like they create that. They create our own narrative and they tell our own narrative where we're silenced by what we see. Is it because we're scared? There's many things. But at the same time, yes, I am black, yes, I am immigrant, yes, I am Muslim, I am women, you name it. I have so many tags, labels. But at the same time, that would not stop me, because I see when I embrace it, because if I'm not doing anything about it, I become depressed. So I become like all of, that thing defines me. But when I say, hey, listen, that's not me. You are not me. I am who I am, and this is who I am. You like it, you like it. You don't like it, that's up to you. So to embrace that I am powerful, that I'm woman, that I'm Muslim, and that I'm peaceful, and say it out loud. That is so I would say to know who you are and to understand what exactly is racism. because a lot of us don't even understand. We even create our own biases with our own community, and we discriminate our own communities based on what we hear from the media, and that's fueling our ideology, which is not helpful for anyone.
So,
That's what's happening in Ethiopia right now. The Ethiopian country, the country is in emergency because you have the Oromo group who are not, who have been, um, discriminated in so many ways, and who have no voice and all of that, and they're the majority. So I totally agree with you and Ahmed that having, the reason why I say I don't agree with, because like we can go on the streets and we can do all of this, and that actually create a lot of momentum, create a lot of lawmakers to figure out ways they can find money to figure ways to help the community. But at the same time, well, you're not at the table, so you can create all of this movement, but at the same time, most of the tables that I'm sitting, I'm the only Somali, and sometimes I'm the only black. So to do something about it, you have to be at the table, because people who are doing those laws don't understand what we go through.
yep.
They don't understand, how we live, what we eat, what is bothering us. Some of us are trying to find jobs all day, going place to place, where it's privileged for them to have one job after another job. So it's all of these things. But if you're not at the table, that's one of the biggest for me, is to be at the table and to make sure that all the laws that if that laws are not working against you, then they're not helping you.
Yeah. So I have a question for both of you, right? So I've heard you say on several occasions that you are black, and you've also said that you're Somali. When, so back home, you guys are relatively young, so I'm assuming that you've been here for a little while, but you can remember back
Yes,
home.
definitely.
Were you black at home?
No, you were Somali.
So in Somalia, you
When
are
I
not.
when I was in Somalia, I didn't
I'll tell you the
understand.
reason why.
I didn't understand black, white, because Somalia is a is like it's everyone look the same, everyone dressed the
That's
same.
the reason why
We're
you're
all
Somali.
one. So
Because
yes, but we have here we have like colors. Back in Somalia, we have tribals.
Right.
So we say that tribe is privileged, that tribe is a little bit low, and that we have in another sense to know that, hey, I am from that tribe, and people, you're white if you're from that tribe, and you're black if you're but we didn't have that mentality. So but when I first came to America, at the airport, I was very young, I was like 6 7 years, and I see so many different people, whites, which I've seen maybe in the media, or movies. I see black, I see Chinese, and I was like, where in the world am I with all this different? So I'm glad to
let
be
me tell
here.
you something. Racism is a biological thing. You're born with racism. Everybody's racist, to be fair. Um, but the way people use it, the way I wouldn't mind if a white person helps another white person because they're white. A black man helps, supports and provides support for black. But when it comes to the system, you are you're elected, and everybody. You're not elected by only one group of people. You're elected by everyone, and you need to be fair, and you need to be. So people need to understand their responsibility, their responsibility to the people, and that's what we're fighting. The system. We're making the system and the governors to be responsible. And in order for them to be responsible, they have to look. They have to be a colorblind. Choose people by who they are instead of what they are. Meaning what they can do by their education. And it's, you know, the system, people complain about, you know, when I hear Americans say, you know, in Somalia, you know, when you hear the media, and you hear that women in Somalia are treated this and that, and the pay is not right. Let me tell you something. Somalia women control 60% of the business, in the medium and small businesses. Majority. There was a research that we have done when I worked with this and a local NGO, both and several other international NGOs, understood that majority of small businesses are owned by Somali. 20% of the government. What is the percentage of Somali
30,
women?
30%.
They say 30.
30.
How many? What's
I
the
don't,
actual
I don't,
number
I don't know.
of representatives? I think it's about 20. Compare that to America. And I don't know what is the number. 6%. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So women here in this country are still struggling and still fighting their rights. And a part of it is that we are not loud enough.
It's the wrong narrative
Mm-hmm.
that is distributed by the media.
Right.
And I remember Trump when that Muslim man whose son was dead in Iraq.
Yeah.
He was saying like, you know, the wife did not speak. You have this assumption that wives are second citizen, women are second citizen, whereas in our world, yes, we have different roles. Men, and normally just provided for the family, where women takes care of the. So it's like I am the queen of the house,
Yeah.
and in order for me to, he needs to provide for me. And it's a normal. I mean, we don't see that as being discriminated. We don't see that as being that we're weaker. Actually, we're stronger, because the house cannot be a house if the woman, is not being providing and nurturing and cleaning and cooking and doing all of that. But at the same time, the family values are going down when we have everyone running and everyone is going to work and do all of this. And
So yeah, no. So you bring up a good point, and this wasn't where I was going to go with the conversation, but this is good because right now you have Somali parents who are very traditional, and now they have these quasi Somali Americans that are in their household who are more American than they are Somali. So how does that end up working? I mean, I can see a natural conflict right there that,
absolutely.
girls don't want to wear the hijab because they want to be American, but the family's like, these are our values.
Absolutely.
So,
And a lot of it is the issue of cultural, how do you say that, the cultural conflicts.
yeah.
You have, I mean, let's say you come to this country, and as a young child or as a young person growing up in this country, you have so many waves of different views and cultures and all of this. And in order for you to feel normal, because you as a young child will say, why am I different? You want to look like everyone else. You don't want to be the different person. And so you have kids who, it's not that they don't like their culture. It's like they want to look normal. They want to fit in. They want to be part of the society. And all of this is created by not having educational and motivation, and not giving an opportunity for kids to understand why they have to be a certain way. They can choose both. They can choose their way, but at least show them this is your values, this is your principles, and this is, the American, which most of it, we actually create names for it. You say American and this, but if you think about it, all of us are being good citizen, paying our bills, respecting other cultures. I mean, if you think about it in a certain way, we're all same. Everyone is doing something to better their family. But at the same time, because we're creating these labels to kind of like differentiate us, is creating that. But at the same time, as a parent, like when I was growing up as a young child, I was one of those lucky that, came to America very young. I was 7. And I went to school, and there was a time that I used to go to school and take my hijab out, put it in my backpack, wear my jeans, take my hijab out when I leave home. And my parents did not know. So when I go to the school and I'm sitting in the classroom, I look like everyone else. But when my mother find out, I was in big trouble. And now it's like, who am I? Who should I be? Should I go against my parents and my family, or should I against the society, go against the society and look different? And then one day I decided to actually respect me. And in order for me to respect who I am, I need to respect my culture, my values. And that's when I, had an inner peace within me to know that this is who I am. You like it or not, but I'm really proud to be who I am. But it will take time.
Yeah. Cool, cool, cool. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're
This is
welcome.
wonderful, wonderful.